It's not possible. I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
The Committee on Parole is called back to order. The time is 11:02. Our next case is going to be Mr. Kentrell Jabbar Howard Jr. Mr. Howard, would you please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
My name is Kentrell Jabbar Howard, 448329.
Thank you very much, Mr. Howard. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will let those persons who wish to have input speak. You have a number of people here at headquarters today in support of you. You have Kentrell Lyons, Sharon Howard DeVille, Brenda Howard, Kai Franklin. They are all here to support you, but they will not be speaking. Kentrika Francis, Esprit Franklin, and Ophelia Howard are also here to support you, and they will be speaking. After we have the hearing, we will you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Kentrell J. Howard Jr., DOC number 448329. His date of birth is December the 19th of 1983. He's classified as a third felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of July the 24th of 2023, an adjusted good time date of November the 11th of 2045, full term date of January the 24th of 2046. He is currently serving a 30-year sentence on the charge of possession with intent to distribute cocaine after having been adjudicated a habitual offender. Mr. Howard, is that information accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Howard, your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise. She will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Huh?
I said I'm doing okay.
Good to know. Good to know. Tell out for the record how long you served on this charge.
I served 8 years.
You have served 8 years of a 30-year sentence. And how old are you today?
I'm 39.
39 years of age. In one place, they show you as a third offender. In another place, they show you as a fifth offender. How many felonies have you been convicted of?
3 felonies.
3 felonies? Okay, all right. That's what, okay. So of your 39 years of living, how long would you say you served in jail?
I say I served probably around about 15 to 17 years.
15 to 17 years. Is this the longest time you've been in jail at one time?
Yes, ma'am.
First time with that, huh? I see that you had a hospital stay October of 21. Are you okay medically?
Yes, ma'am.
Everything's worked out? You're healthy?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. Okay. Who is Noel Dawkins to you? Noel.
It was someone that I was giving a ride to.
Okay, he's just a friend, or not so much, or even a friend, just somebody who's giving a ride to.
In my neighborhood.
Say what now? He was somebody living in your neighborhood?
In my neighborhood, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tell me about why you're in jail. What was going on with this incident when you tearing up the inside of an apartment? What was going on?
Oh, I had warrants. I had warrants, and the officers, they was looking for me, and I fell out the attic. I just was trying to hide.
Okay. But the report said somebody, you pushed the air conditioner out the window. You were out. The officers was outside trying to get you to come out and all of that.
Yes, ma'am. I came out. I came out afterwards.
So you were saying that's the only damage you did? You didn't push the air conditioner out the window? You didn't do that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. I thought there was where the way the police report states that the apartment was pretty tore up. And your statement is that's not the case. That what you're telling me, it wasn't that tore up.
No, it was someone else's house. It had a hole in the ceiling, and I pushed the air conditioner out the window.
Okay.
Trying to-
Okay. All right. And so then you ran and with the taser probes in you, and they caught you a few days later. Huh?
No, ma'am. I went to jail from that incident, from that house incident.
Okay.
Where the hole in the wall. I went to jail from that incident.
Oh, okay. You didn't run and they shoot you with a taser, and you didn't. That was another
No,
incident.
I never got shot with a taser.
Okay. All righty. Okay. And you're a very young man. I just want to put some things on the record. You were sentenced in 03, January of 03. You got revoked in June of 04. And you were released in 05. In February of 05. You got revoked in June of 07. You got released in 12 of 2012. Then you full term out on that sentence in 2014. And then, of course, we're here today on this offense was in 13. Got arrested in 16, and then you got sentenced in 17. So you're here today. Are you a drug dealer?
I sold drugs and I used drugs.
Okay. So which one? When I look at your history, the DEA was involved with you in 09. So when did your drug use start?
I never was involved with the DA in 09.
Okay. So when did you start using drugs? What age were you?
I was around 14, 15, smoking marijuana.
Who introduced that to you? Do you remember?
Just me and friends,
Somebody your age or older?
We're all the same age.
Okay. Y'all just decided together. 14-year-olds started.
Just try something. Just trying things.
Okay. And how much education do you have?
I have a 9th grade education.
So you dropped out around 14?
Yeah, around that.
Around that, okay. I do show it in the records that you got 51.5 hours of working towards your GED. How's it coming?
Well, I'm doing my best. Going through school, I had a learning disability, and I'm trying my best to do that. I didn't want to participate too much in school when I was younger, so because of that, I was embarrassed of it. So I try to do other things.
It's understandable. It's quite understandable. I think with the records show that right now, that's what you do every day now. You go to high set, right?
Yes, ma'am. I go to high set every day.
Yeah. Is it getting better?
Not really. Not really, ma'am.
Right. And let the professional, they'll tell you when they deem that you can't get your high set. As long as they still letting you come to class, they see something in you that you might not see right now. So just trust the process. Continue to go with an open mind and just listen and, sit on the front row and really get engaged. You never know. It looks like you've had Thinking for a Change, April the 19th of 23. What did you learn in that? In Thinking for a Change?
I learned to think before I make decisions. And it's been helping me a lot. Thinking for a Change and NNA was like the best class that I took because I learned from those classes. And I've been incarcerated 8 years. I never used, I never tried to sell drugs throughout the whole 8 years. And I've been in different facilities during these 8 years. Well, I was surrounded around drugs and violence, and I never participated. So
you're proud of yourself, and you should be. Because when I look at your record, I think you had 11 drug arrests in your short life. So that is impressive.
Man, like a lot of I'm looking at I know I see you looking at the same thing that I seen, And a lot of them charges, like, I was like, where they come from? Because I never been convicted of those charges.
Said arrest. I said arrest. Yeah, 11 arrests.
And I've been arrested a couple of times in some strange situations. Like what the things that I pled guilty to, that's what I did.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, those are the things I did, the things that I pled guilty to.
But nevertheless, now you recognize that those incidents and situations make up your record.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It makes up your record, nevertheless. Let's talk about your write-ups. How you been doing since you've been in jail? How many write-ups have you had? And when was your last one?
I had my last write-up in 22.
You only have 2 write-ups. Your last write-up.
I have 2 write-ups in 8 years.
Yeah, you had June the 2nd, June the 3rd of 22, something about it. What was that? What was that one on June 3rd of 22?
It was a fight. I had a fight. That was the deal?
Yeah.
That was a cigarette. That was a cigarette.
I wonder what, okay. And then the 9/4/22, that was the fight.
That was the fight.
Yeah, that was the fight, yeah. And that is impressive that you only had 2 write-ups, but it was just in the whole time that you've been in, it shows great restraint. Do you think you need substance abuse treatment?
I'm always willing to take treatment because I've been using drugs. Although I've been incarcerated 8 years and I haven't used, and I had many opportunities to use and I didn't. But I'm always willing to take treatment because if your parole board grant me parole to date, I'm gonna still go to NNA on the street because I like NNA. That would help me through the times I'm in right now. It helped me.
Yeah. I do want to state for the record that you do have law enforcement opposition. There's nothing you can do about it. They are opposed to your early release. They're just a part of the process, a part of the information that we receive. If you're successful today, where would you live and how would you support yourself?
I have 2 jobs who willing to hire me. JD Sweeper, Mr. Brandon Bargain. I submitted it to y'all, and I have Roland Williams, Mr. Roland Williams Construction. I submitted that to y'all also with my parole package.
Yes, I saw that. I just wanted to put on the record and say, who would you live with?
I would be living with my cousin, is like my auntie Ophelia Howard. She would be speaking. It's 206 Antoine Street.
Good. I want to go back to how many years would you say you were a drug dealer?
Like I started using and selling drugs. I was using before I started selling drugs. And to be honest with you, I was defeating the purpose because a lot of times I sold drugs to get more drugs to use. So it didn't really make no sense.
But how many years you think you did that, all that action that didn't make no sense? How many years were you in that?
Probably about a good 20 years.
20 years of doing something that didn't make no sense.
It made no sense.
In your words, now, your words. 20 years. What do you think about your drug dealing and how they impact your community? Have you given any thought to that?
Yes, ma'am, because it's even though I was using drugs, I sold drugs to people, you know, I hurted other people's family. And, you know, just as well as I hurted myself, because at the end of the day, I caused a lot of harm to myself and others in society. And I just, you know, I want to apologize. You know, that was my old bad behavior and I regret it. It caused me a lot.
The records show you the father of 5 children. What are the ages of your children?
I have my oldest daughter is 22. My second daughter, she's 19. I have a 16-year-old son and a 15-year-old son. And I have my 8-year-old. I left him when he was 3 months.
How many mothers is that?
3 baby mothers. And I always have been a good daddy to my children. So
Say what now?
I say I always have been a good daddy to my kids. And it's like the mama have to do it by themselves right now because I've been gone.
When you said you were a good daddy to your children, what did you do that was good for your children?
I've always been in my kids' life through their whole life. I've been
When
in
you
their
say
life.
their life,
If I wasn't in jail, I was in their life.
when you say in their life, what are you talking about?
Supportive wise, I was always there around them. I always did things to help them with the school.
What kind of things you did to help them?
I buy my kids. I take care of my kids.
Now I'm just trying to hear what I don't want to misinterpret. You said you were a good father, so just tell me exactly what you were doing with your kids' life. Because we just talked about for 20 years you were selling drugs and then you was using drugs. It didn't make no sense because I was using what I sold and blah blah blah. So now you're telling me you were a good dad. I just want to know detail. Tell me what you did. If I had to write down 3 things you did that shows that you were a good father when you were out, what are those 3 things?
I buy things to support them.
Okay.
I spend time with my kids, and you know, I'm always there with them. If I'm not out in the street using them. When I wasn't in the streets, I was with my kids and my family.
That's what I wanted to hear. All righty. Warden, thank you for answering my questions. We're just going to sit back and listen and make a decision at some point. Warden, what you want us to know about this young man?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Wise. Trell and I had a pretty good interview on yesterday. The most thing I was most impressive with was his disciplinary record. 2 write-ups, 8 years. I mean, that's pretty good. Take into consideration everything that's going on now in DOC. He's in school. He did explain how much trouble he's having with trying to actually get his GED. I encourage him, just like you actually did in regards to trying to sit in the front and just actually try to apply himself every day with school and eventually actually work out. If the opportunity presents itself, you know, I think the best thing for him to actually, you know, try to seek long-term treatment, substance abuse treatment, even though his disciplinary record don't reflect it here, but between here and society, it's 2 different things. And if you get that opportunity to make parole board today, you know, he needed every bit of tool he can to stay out there in society.
Are there any opportunities for a trade at your facility? He can learn a trade?
Yes, ma'am. We have a lot of backlogs right now, but we're actually getting a little bit better. We're actually trying to get our welding program actually going, which is a very, very good trade. We just have a backlog for it, but we should be actually getting forward to it here shortly.
Excuse me, parole board, like with trades, I have like 30 years sentence, and a lot of things that I tried, they said that I had too much time.
Okay, good. But what did you try for?
Like a lot of classes and everything, like, cause
all you can do is what you can do. I just need to hear what the classes that you tried to get into.
It had it on the board with the trades, like you had to be like 10 years short.
Because she's asking when did you apply?
Yeah, so yeah, which ones were you trying to get into?
I would have liked to get into welding, but I seen on the board you have to be 10 years short or something.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for making us aware of that. Appreciate it. That's all I had, Jim.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, first off, I'd like to point out to you that this was the arrest that stemmed from what happened at the Walgreens, where they stopped you and a friend got out, a black bag fell out with drugs in it. When they were trying to cuff you, you grabbed the drugs, took off running. They tased you. When they were trying to cuff you again, you took off, and they never found you until they found you at that house. So that was the warrant that you were arrested on, was the warrant from with the cocaine. Understand?
Yes, sir.
And the other thing I want to ask is, I see you had a charge for attempted murder. I think it was 2011. What is that about?
I had no idea. During that time when I had a preliminary, the person came there and I don't even know who they are.
Okay, now this was another charge before these.
Yeah, it was someone that I didn't even know. They didn't know me and I didn't know them.
He
And they
just attempted murder charges.
Yes, sir.
All right, I have no further.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from your supporters. Let's hear from your.
See it's moving. Are you on any medications for mental health? I see where they rated you high.
Yes, you did.
Excuse me, sir?
Do you take any mental health treatment? Warden, does he go to
Yeah,
any mental health?
It's an indication of depression.
No, sir, I don't take any.
No,
mental
he's
health.
not on in here.
Okay, just his risk needs had him high for mental health.
No, sir, he's not listed here.
All right, thank you.
Let's hear from your supporters, your sister, Miss Contrica Francis. Yes, ma'am.
That's correct.
If you'll introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
Hi, I'm Contrica Francis. I mean, other than the streets, he's a good man. Miss him so much. There was, the dad I never had. Like, growing up, like, he took care of me, he helped my mom with everything. He didn't miss nothing. Like, despite of what he did, his heart is big. He didn't miss nothing. That's the dad I never had. Never. Like, that's the dad I know. I mean, he's a good person. If he's granted, I'm willing to help him with everything, whether it's transportation to work, parole fees, whatever you have to do, I'm staying by him.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. Let's now hear from your daughter, Miss Spree Franklin.
My name is Distrib Franklin.
It's okay, just take your time. We have some tissue.
Yes, it's not even happening.
Look, here's.
It's some always for the fun though.
It's been in my life. I did like doing that school. He made sure he came to all my road breakfasts. I was 15 years old and he left me. Now I have kids of my own. And I just miss me. I want my kids. I want my kids to see him. I'm just willing to help him with whatever.
Thank you very much, Ms. Franklin. Appreciate your comments, certainly your feelings. Now we'll hear from Ophelia Howard.
My name is Ophelia Howard. I'm living Kentucky, still with me. We have somewhere to stay. I live at 206 Antoine Street in Louisiana. And we do listen. We listen a lot. He is a good person. And I'm willing to do anything for him.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Mr. Howard, is there anything that you'd like to say before the board votes?
Yes, sir. I just pray that y'all grant me parole because I have made changes in my life and I want to go home and do better. And I would like to go to NA. If I'm granted parole, I'm still gonna go to NAA. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Last.
I tell you what, Mr. Howard, when I was reading your case last night, I tell you, you did good for me. I'm just only one vote. You did a great interview. You came across sincere. You could articulate who you were then versus who you are now. And I see a transition. I see what you showed today. You got good support here. You came prepared for this hearing. I want to commend you for that. And that's how you get through life. You do what you can do. I'm feeling inclined to take a chance on you. My vote is to grant after you complete, and the warden had good comments to say, a long-term substance abuse treatment program. I want you to stay on the front row there, learn what you need to learn, continue in the high set. If they have it at that facility, continue in high set. After you complete that, I would like for you to follow their recommendations. They're gonna have recommendations after you complete treatment. I'd like to see you do some community service. I know you got 5 kids, but 1 year after release, I want you to start doing some community service because you were a drug dealer. They saw what you did in the community. They need to see a different you in the community. And that's the purpose of your community service, 5 hours a month, 1 year after release. You have positive family support, you have positive warden comments, and you have an excellent disciplinary, 2 write-ups in 9 years. It's an excellent disciplinary. That is my vote, but I'm only one vote.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Freeman.
Okay, first off, Mr. Howard, you ought to thank the family because they want you and they need you.
Yes, sir.
But I want to send them a finished product. And I think you're well on your way. I think there's no doubt that you will be considered in the near future, but you've only served less than 25% of your time, and you just don't have enough classes. Get that class done, reapply, and my vote will probably be different. But they vote today is to deny.
All right, thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Howard, I've listened to what you had to say. You've got some great family support. Listened to what the warden has to say. And I agree with the warden that you need some long-term substance abuse treatment. My vote is very similar to Ms. Wise. My vote would be to grant conditionally upon your enrolling in a long-term substance abuse program and completing that program and working on your HISET as well. With the conditions of following all of the recommendations, 3 AA meetings per week, 5 hours of community service work, 1 year.
Continue on the GED.
And continue to work on GED.
As a condition of
there. You do have 2 out of 3 votes. Is 2 out of 3 sufficient in his case? He doesn't have his HISET. He doesn't have his GED.
Yeah. Because the tiger is low, but the knees is medium. He has not been deemed, cannot get GED yet, but he's had 51.5 hours of GED classes. Deemed. Yeah. Yeah, and they made it. Determination.
So it's.
So he would be eligible to.
He does not.
So it's not gonna be on. But he had some
Okay.
presentations.
Okay.
You can't complete the sheet.
Mr. Howard, you have 2 votes to grant conditionally and 1 vote to deny. Unfortunately, you needed our vote to be unanimous this time, and it was not. So your parole has been denied. But I think we're all encouraging you to continue to do what you're doing. You're on the right track. See if you can get in. I would recommend that we try to send you to a long-term facility as we suggested. I know that's what Mr. Freeman would like to see as well. And I think maybe once you complete that program, perhaps you could reapply and maybe the vote would be different. So good luck to you.
All right.